Hi, this is Lily, and we are looking at the unconscious mind self-forgiveness. And that is the self-forgiveness of one's physical behavioral changes that manifest within a moment participation with people as one progressed from one's conscious mind to one's subconscious mind, and now the unconscious mind that lead to an actual behavioral change, and from the behavioral change an actual possession where one totally gets taken over by the mind and one is encompassed by the total personality, physical mind system, and one find oneself experiencing and leading oneself into a total self-change that was not initiated, directed, or moved by an as self. Inequality in one is here as a directive decision, but has been influenced, directed, and controlled by and as one's mind. Now, the unconscious mind self-forgiveness equal to and one with the subconscious mind self-forgiveness, and as we've explained a bit on the conscious mind self-forgiveness, where one take what one has written within one's writing, as we have explained within the unconscious mind writing video. You take from your writing and you write your points of self-forgiveness to release yourself from that system, that self-accepted and allowed self to create, program, and manifest that change one's behavior. To mention, self-forgiveness is also an interesting process, because within self-forgiveness you'll find while you are writing, it is more within the self-forgiveness than within and during the writing that you come to insights and realizations and understandings. If you walk your self-forgiveness effectively within self-honesty and you really open up those points and write it out for yourself or speak it out for yourself, and you go into the detail of the walking practical realization of what I'm doing is I'm taking responsibility for me, establishing myself as a starting point from what I have accepted and allowed myself to create, program, or manifest as a system. And you take it through and walk it with yourself, like really for and with yourself. Insights and realizations and understandings will emerge through your self-forgiveness. So that's a cross-reference for you for when you're walking self-forgiveness and self-honesty. It'll be an actual released realization that happened. Because as you release you through the writing of the self-forgiveness, in that release, you as self start emerging and start taking the position and the place of that system. And while that transfer happens, you get more of a encompassing, holistic perspective of what it is that you were existing as you start walking out of it and releasing yourself from it. So you start seeing it right here in front of you in a way, as you start walking and disengaging and releasing yourself. And that's how insights and realizations and understandings start happening, because you're seeing you, you're realizing you, you're understanding you, you're going, oh my God, is this what I did? Is this how I did it? Fuck, I see how this is doing that and going there and shaping that, and oh my God, it's like things like that will start opening up. That's your reference of self-honesty. If you are walking your self-forgiveness in the context of validation, justification, blame, anger, like trying to construct your sentences in such a way so as to put the blame, emphasis, or attention onto something or someone else, what you'll experience is your anxiety in your solar plexus will grow, your stomach will go tighter, your kidneys, especially around the ribs, will go sore, and your bodies will be painful. And it will go tight and rigid. Then whoa, I've got to reevaluate and stop and really look at what I'm accepting and allowing here, because I'm going into a constriction, which means you're busy feeding a system rather than a release as an actual realization, insight, and understanding. This will be in interviews as well, where we will walk through the different experiences that one might or will face within self-forgiveness. What is your cross-reference point of when you're going into self-honesty or self-dishonesty? Just assist and support with that platform cross-reference for yourself. When is writing for real within your writing and your self-forgiveness, and when is it for the mind? So unconscious mind self-forgiveness, let's use the example of where you changed your behavior and your living stance towards your aunt or a person that you desire, want, and need to be and become, because they represented something within yourself that you desired, wanted, or needed, such as popularity, and tried or attempted to change your behavior to get your attention from the people around you to get the same effect as that aunt or that person was getting. And so trying to feed a energetic mind, want, need, and desire within that. And you've noted that you've changed in that moment. Your shoulders became straight. You actually, for example, even you can go, sometimes we go so far as going to the bathroom and changing our boobs in our bras, or changing the pants or the hair and things like that, to kind of see how far we can go to change our physical appearance or behavior to represent something or someone, to get something or something from others. So, I mean, here you've got to be specific as well in, walking your self-forgiveness, so you can see what it is that you're doing. Remember, self-forgiveness is your process of seeing what it is that I've become, accepted, and allowed to, in that seeing, be able to so much more effectively prepare yourself to change yourself. And that's another door that self-forgiveness will open. You'll see as you walk it in the moment, point by point by point. So many times we want the answer before we're actually giving it to ourselves. So self-forgiveness is giving yourself the answer, is giving yourself the insight, the seeing, the eyes, the realization, the starting point. It is a real gift. Self-forgiveness. We have expressed that so many times, and this is how it practically works. You're not just going to see, realize, and understand something because you want it and are expecting it to come from where? You've got to give it to yourself. You've got to see, realize, and understand it for yourself. And that you do through giving yourself the opportunity to do so, and that is in self-forgiveness. So then you walk yourself in as much detail as possible, again emphasizing only in relation to the point you're facing. And you go ahead, I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to purge my breasts and actually go to the bathroom and change my bra to be able to manifest the appearance and physical representation of getting attention. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to change the position of my right leg into a position of turning it more outwards so as to show a more of an availability stance, to have people give me attention in a particular way as I observed within the other person or my aunt. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to change the way I flick my hair with my hands in a way to exert an experience of superiority, because I was thinking or believing that in doing that I became a particular experience and I was getting the feedback or attention from others exactly like my aunt or the other person was doing. And so you go into detail in terms of cross-referencing from the person to yourself how it is that you reflected that change and then actually changed your physical behavior. And then within the self-forgiveness, more and more will open up in relation to that one point, and you'll get like an entire blueprint of how it is that you changed you in relation to that something or someone, instead of directing your living in, as, and with the physical. And that is the real basics of what you will initially face within your process of walking through your mind consciousness system, where we've taken you now through interviews of conscious, subconscious, unconscious mind, the writing of the conscious, subconscious, unconscious mind, and the self-forgiveness of the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind. If you haven't yet listened to those interviews, it is available. And we suggest taking a walk through them, as it gives you an overall holistic perspective of what it is that one is facing initially, and only within the context of thoughts within one's conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind. We've really only taken on one dimension of one part of the total mind consciousness system, and that's thoughts. So one can look forward to many interviews to come, where we will basically walk a process through the total mind consciousness system of what self will be facing. And to remember to have patience, and to commit yourself to getting to know you, and actually really in fact changing your life and your living to that of assisting and supporting yourself to really expand and grow, and to not limit and diminish oneself into a experience of just being a slave to thoughts and energy. Thank you. Stop you. Yeah. Who's gonna stop you? Stop you. Who's gonna stop you? Who's gonna stop you?